the Lion's Den.
Brother.
What's up? We back at it again with the world-renowned Lions Den.
Yes, sir. The Lions Den been really attracting a lot of important people lately.
I mean, you was giving me a taste of the important people that was attracting, but elaborate for the people, so you know the whole world.
Oh yeah, man. The brother Chance, who wrote the book Due Process, man, up there in D.C., the Bell's Bonds, man, he done got in contact with us. The Lions Den has really been a positive force in the community. A lot of brothers come up to me and they quote verbatimly some of the things that I said in the Lions Den. So, woohoo for the Lions Den. You know, we did really, impact the community this time.
Yeah. Now, the one that you want to break into today is about everybody done experienced this throughout the country between the lighter skin and the darker skin complexions, and the war that goes back and forth between, we all of color, but since we bear different spectrums of the color scheme, is always something back and forth about that.
Well, when I was a child, my mama used to always say that, and that's what she taught me. My mother was a dark-skinned woman. That light-skinned people were better than dark-skinned people. She taught me that if you married a light-skinned woman, that was a good thing. That you don't want to bring those dark people or those too dark people around here because they're not accepted. But I found out my mama was raised to think that her dark skin was a curse and that my father's light skin was God. So I asked my mother, I said, how did you come to this conclusion? And she said, that's just the way it is in the South. That's how we felt. She said, your daddy and his brothers, they were all light-skinned guys. Their sisters were light-skinned women, and she said everybody wanted them. They was like gold. They was like a commodity. So my mama, she did everything that she could. She used to walk almost 10, 15 miles just to see my daddy every day because he was light-skinned. Because his skin were considered at that time, especially in the South, the premier skin color.
Yeah.
But then I did some research because I was baffled by my mama's answer. And what I did, I began to research and I found out in history that that's how the slave masters used to separate, the good niggas from the bad niggas. If you was a light-skinned nigga, you got a spot in the master's house. You was able to be, a good house nigga. You was next to master. If you was dark-skinned, very rarely got next to master. You was primarily in the field. You was a field nigga. You worked the cotton fields. You worked the corn fields and so on and so forth. So that was the perception back then. And the slaves were taught that the light-skinned niggas was superior to dark-skinned niggas. So what my mama probably was iterating, or what she was probably getting her perception was the fact that not her mama, but her mama's mama was a slave. And this thing was genetic and hereditary. It went all the way from slavery, because we was in slavery for 200 and some odd years. So that mentality of slavery, it permeated into the minds of the children. The children, which my mama would be one of those children, they began to believe that. And to this day, we see examples of the light-skinned brothers being in position and the dark-skinned brothers, unless they are entrepreneurs, unless they strong-will being in the background. The thing about it with me was, I was always fortunate because, my best friend was a guy named Killer in kindergarten.
Okay.
And Killer was light-skinned as they get. I mean, he was lighter than my father. But he did everything that I told him to do. And I was kind of baffled because I was like, my mama taught me that light-skinned people were better than me. But these light-skinned guys that I went to school with, they always would look up to me. They would always want to hang around me. I was always the leader. It was a trip because I was taught differently. I was taught to think that because of my dark skin that I was inferior. So as I got older, I intermingled with a lot of light-skinned brothers. And all of these brothers, man, I mean, I'm not trying to sound arrogant. They would always bow down to me. They would always respect me. I would always, even when I was in prison, I would rise to leadership you know, and it was a different thing when it came to me. But before I got there, it would be a light-skinned brother. Like when I was in Oxford, there was a brother named Cole Hill. He was a light-skinned brother, and he was the leader of the little movement that we was attending. Yeah. So when I got there, you know, the brother, he stepped down and told me, man, brother, you better than me. You know what I mean? You should be the leader. So I became the leader, and then I was in Rochester, Minnesota, and the fans joined there. The brother named Brown Hill. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he said the same thing. So I was kind of baffled. I was like, man, why all these light-skinned brothers kind of, you know, gravitate towards me and they respect me? But I was taught to believe that the light-skinned brother was better than the dark-skinned brother. But one thing I did was I kind of went back into my history. And you know what I found out, Rick? That because my father was light-skinned, it was the principles that he taught me that didn't make me feel inferior. Because, like, when we say our family outings, all my light-skinned cousins, they would be considered, they would get favoritism. You know what I'm saying? They would be the ones, you know, that everybody would want to dance, and they would be the ones that everybody would want out front, and so on and so forth. So, you know, but my father, he would constantly tell us, he would say, man, fuck them, man. Fuck them. My mom be like, they always treat our kids like they know. My father be like, fuck them. My father would instill in me that, look, man, you somebody. You know what I mean? You great. You know, he was constantly embedded that into my mind. Right. And I guess because it resonated that I would conduct myself in the same way. But, you know, when I look at society and I look out, you know, the light-skinned versus the dark-skinned brother, it kind of made sense. I looked at the Rainbow Coalition, the leader, Jesse Jackson. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I looked at the NAACP, a light-skinned brother, Jesse Jackson. I looked at Colin Powell, you know, who was a part of the Joint Street Style, light-skinned brother. I looked at the Nation of Islam. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all the brothers in the Nation of Islam, you know, primarily were light-skinned brothers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and Minister Farrakhan, he spoke on that many a times. I heard him speak on it when he was at the Savior's Day this year, and Mr. Farrakhan said, you know what? I'm so happy that they made a movie called Black Panthers where a dark-skinned brother was the leading character. He said because for years, the society had put light-skinned people over dark-skinned people. And, you know, even when he was saying it, you know what I'm saying? You know, he was saying it in a manner where he felt like a sense of, you know, entitlement. Like, you know, like we light-skinned brothers supposed to run this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this was Minister Farrakhan, but at the same time, he was congratulating the dark brother for playing the role of Black Panther. So we know, you know what I'm saying? I mean, even Barack Obama, would he would have been able to become president if he were a dark-skinned brother? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we look at Reverend Al Sharpton, the Action Network. You know what I'm saying? I mean, his group. You know, he's a light-skinned brother. You know, we look at some of the leading actors in Hollywood, the one that get paid the most. Some of them brothers are light-skinned. So we know that obviously skin color plays a part in one's prominence or one position in society. But I just want to say that I feel in many cases, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I was one of the exceptions. I mean, like, Ice-T, my best friend, he light-skinned as they get. But Ice-T, every time he see me, man, he showed me so much love, and he be so happy to see me, and he be telling everybody, man, this is my main man, this is my man, Kenny Ivy. You know, Ice-T called me Kenny Ivy. So, you know, I know that some of that is true, but it depends on what has been embedded in you. True. If that affects you. Yeah. You know, the things that were embedded in me, I was taught. And then I guess having a light-skinned father, light-skinned wasn't no big thing to me because I grew up around a light-skinned man all my life. Right. You know, my mother was full-blooded Indian, so he was light as they get. So, you know, I think that played a major part in my perception and the way I looked at people and the way I looked at skin color. But when I look at people and I look at the corporate world and I look at other aspects of life, leadership, and some of our prominent leaders and some of the people that have made it even from, you know, Thurgood Marshall, Clayton Powell, and all these great men, Percy Julian, you know, most of us predominantly light-skinned, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and people say, well, Ken, man, that you're crazy. Well, it was a thing that started back in maybe the 1920s, and what it was called was passing. Passing is when a mixed baby who looked more like the white parent passed for white. Mm-hmm. And even There's a lady right now that's in New York. She's a socialite. And she didn't even let all those people know that she was white. But she was the one that was responsible for putting a lot of major parties together. You know, she would host all these Democrat and Republican parties. But she was able to pass as white. So we know that a lot of those people, they passed as white. A lot of those light-skinned people became lawyers and doctors. And they sent their children to this camp called Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill is where the affluent black folk go, and they allow their children to meet other affluent, light-skinned black people. You know, and they teach their children, you know, not to associate or don't be even in the premise of these other people. And this is real, and this going on to this day. There's another organization called, I think it's called the Boule. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, all these affluent brothers and sisters who happen to be fair-skinned or light-skinned, you know, they all congregate and, you know, they refuse to hang around people of darker hue because they don't want to be associated, you know, and they got rules. And one of the rules is don't be nowhere with black folks associated because you don't want these white folks to know that you could be white. And that's how they were able to pass, you know, and continue to be referred to as white by not associating themselves with black folks. They didn't go to the NAACP, they didn't go to the Urban League, they didn't go to BET, they didn't go nowhere, you know, because they want to continue to be passed as white people.
Yeah.
You know, because being white, you know, and being light give you certain privileges. You know, like, I mean, if you take a light-skinned person, you know, home with you, you know, I mean, your family tend to be, you know, a little more relaxed. But if you bring a dark-skinned dude, your mother, your father, like, who is this nigga? That nigga like he about to rob something. You understand what I'm saying? And this is because that has been embedded in our minds. And we think that because somebody's light, they're right. And because they're dark, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they're not.
Yeah,
so, you know,
snakes come in all complexions, you know. It ain't...
Yeah, but we know that, you know, this is a part of social engineering.
Right.
You know, this ain't just something that happened. You know, these people didn't just come out, you know, thinking like this. This was something that was manufactured over many, many, many years, and it has, you know, continued on into society today, where we think, you know, that our lighter brothers are superior to us, and that our darker brothers are inferior. You know, and it was one of the schemes of the slave masters.
Yeah, part of what's that? Willie Lynch syndrome.
Yeah, it's the Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch in 1710. He the one that came up with, actually in 1713 in Jamaica. He came up with this. You know, and they even got some of the people they call mulatto. They didn't want to be called black. You got a lot of light-skinned people in New Orleans. They call themselves mulattoes, because they didn't want to be associated with the dark-skinned people of New Orleans. And they got their own little crew. You know what I mean? They don't marry outside their family. You know, but of course, you know, just like white women. You know what I'm saying? Light-skinned women love dark-skinned men. You know, because something inside them women knew that something was right, that they knew that was the original essence, and they wanted to get that, you know, I know that I may have some white in me, but I know that I came from this black man. Mm-hmm. And if I want to get anywhere close to my heritage, or anywhere close to my originality, I need to be with the black man. And the white woman feel that way too. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's why most white, light-skinned women, you know, eventually started marrying black men, and a lot of light-skinned brothers started marrying black women, because even though they were able to benefit from being light-skinned, they knew that their true essence was a black man.
Right.
You know, and that's why even in society, back to during slavery, they said you got 1/3 of Negro blood or 1/5 of Negro blood, you was considered a Negro. Mm-hmm. So if you got one drop out of all the 100% of blood you can have, you had one drop, you was considered a Negro. That just showed you how powerful the seed or the genetics of the black man was. But because the black man was so powerful, and because his genetics were so strong, his genes were so strong, it had to be a concerted effort amongst conservatives and amongst racists and amongst supremacists to preach that the black man was inferior, that everything black is evil. If you step over a black cat, you're going to have bad luck. You know, if if you have a wife, or if you're a husband and you die and you leave your wife, she was a black widow. Angel food cake is white, devil food cake is black. That the white ball controlled all the balls on the pool ball, and that the black ball was the last ball to get knocked in. They taught us that, when you play chess, the black piece moved last, but the white piece moved first. So, it was a lot of racism and a lot of schisms and isms, that even went all the way into the games that we played. So this is why you see most black folks have inferiority complexes. A lot of them, they don't pursue high positions because they feel that they're not going to be accepted. But the truth of the matter is, it's their blackness that is what is feared, and because you're black, that you really are powerful, because it's something called melanin. And melanin is a chemical that produces motor skills and physical skills, and it's usually found during the early fetus. And the darker you are, the more intellectual skills you have, and the more motor skills you have. That's why you see darker brothers excel in football and in basketball over light-skinned brothers and over our white brothers. You see a lot of dark-skinned brothers, when they're allowed to use their creative geniuses, you see most of them excel and excel abundantly. So, we know that, that this is a myth. My father, he raised me to believe in that myth, and that's why, wherever I go, I stand tall as a black man, and my light-skinned brothers respect me all over the world. Mm-hmm. When I tell you light-skinned brothers respect me all over the world, I'm telling you because they know that I didn't bite into the hype. They know I didn't believe the hype. They know that I'm not victimized by this white supremacy or this Jim Crowism or this Willie Lynchism. So, all the light-skinned brothers and the dark-skinned brothers need to know we are one. We are all of the same human family. It don't make a difference how dark you is or how light you is. We all brothers. We all come from the same cloth. We all come from the same genetics. We all have the same genealogy, the same history. So, I just want people to understand that, man, don't bite into the hype. Don't believe that because you light, that you are hype, or because you black, you got to get back. We all equal under that perception. So, I hope that I've been able to enlighten some of these light-skinned brothers, enlighten some of these dark-skinned brothers to know that, no matter who you are, whatever you believe and conceive, you can achieve. Or winner never quit and quitter never win. You must work your plan and plan your work. A man who failed to plan to fail. Don't make a difference what your genealogy is, what color you is, or what your active background is. If you believe in yourself, and if you work hard, you can achieve what most refuse to achieve. So on that note, we're going to say, man, hey, man, we all one, man. We a rainbow, man. We one color. Right. So don't trip, y'all. I just want to, address this issue. I hope we learned something today.
Right.
Peace.
That's good.
Too cool to count 24/7.